Order filled. Target filled.
Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gents. I hope everyone is well. I was just looking at this trade here quickly. I got into it and then got out for break even. Something just didn't feel right. We'd had this push up and we bounced a few times and it looked to me like we were pushing up for another leg. And I wanted to get in here. To me, it looks like we're pushing up, but I got out for break even. It's just something didn't feel quite right. So I'm not sure what you think about that. To me, it looks like we got one leg up and a couple of legs of correction. That's the one I was looking at. And when it came back, I jumped in, but then I just got out for break even. It just didn't feel right. We're sort of ranging, but I don't know. This just looks like it's pushing up to me. We've sort of come from sort of overnight highs, overnight lows, and we've had a couple of legs up, and we've struggled a bunch of times to go any lower. And that's telling me 93. That's going to come out. That's telling me that's pushing up. I just don't know though. Usually you'd expect to fade these, but it looks to me like it's struggling to get lower. And that's what I was looking at, but obviously you don't really want to be going long into them. But when we pushed up and we came down and presented that bearish bar, it's a second entry short that, but for me, it looks to me like we're moving up. So I got in. What I did, I left it, but when it pushed up, when it came back down and created that, I got in here, which is where I originally wanted to. But then I don't know, there's just something about it. And, I just thought, let's just get out. And luckily, got out for break even, so it didn't cost me anything really. But I know we've got some news coming up soon, and usually you would fade those, but something's telling me just the look of it's going up, and obviously there's a failure now which looks, I don't know, it's going up for me. That's what it looks like, but I just my account's building up quite nice now. It's up to $4,200 the one PA, so I don't really want to take anything silly, but for me this just looks like it's struggling to get lower. So I think we're pushing higher personally, but obviously we've got that news coming up and we've got the open in a minute, and I try not to get into a trade at the open. So my bar, there's a doji where you're short. Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's just reload the historic. Kind of glad I got out actually. It's just something's about it I'm not quite a fan of. Not sure what's going on there. There we go. Oh. What is going on? Okay, what's going on? I'm not sure what's going on. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to shut this down. Shh. Sorry about that. I'll open it back up. Excuse me a sec. Sorry about that. Postman's here. Doug's gone mental. Okay, I'm just going to reopen this back up. Something didn't look quite right here. Okay, that's better. Right. Okay, yeah, it does look like it's pushing up. Let's have a look. Excuse me a second. Sorry. Okay. That was the one I was looking at, and it went up. It has changed, isn't it? Yeah. Looks a bit different there. Okay, I got out of that anyway, so didn't cost me anything. So let's have a look. Okay, let's see who's in. Ramwolf, good morning. How you doing? Crawl Daddy, good morning. Good afternoon, or wherever you are. Hindy, how you doing, buddy? I hear some trading behind the scene. Let me just check the volumes off that. No volumes off it. Volumes off there. Let me just check. That's the only thing there. I think everything's okay, unless you're in the dogs. Is that what it is? JP, good morning. How you doing, buddy? Brick, good afternoon. W, my borrowers are a doji. Where you gone short? Okay, I've changed it now anyway. I've reloaded. Rodian, how you doing, buddy? How are you, mate? So, okay, market's officially open. So I don't know. It's going up for me. We've pushed back up here and come up here again, and we've struggled to get lower. And as we've pulled down again, we've tried to get down a bunch of times, and then I saw that bar. Now, ideally, you don't want to be going long into this support here, but for me, it's struggling to get down. So I think it's going up. Now, that's the one I wanted to get in on, and it went up a bit and came back down, and I thought, there was a second entry short, and I thought, yeah, I'm going to get back in. So I jumped in here, and it went up a bit, went down a bit, and I just changed my mind. I got out of it. But would I have got 2 points there? Let's have a look. Probably would have done. Yeah, just. But it's a little bit congested. You know, when you get into a trade, what I find is sometimes I'm better off not getting into a trade in the first 15 or 20 minutes and give myself time to settle, because I spoke about this Friday. You know, when you first get to the chart, you open the chart and everything goes live, you get that little bit of tingle in your belly. It does look like it's going up. You get a little bit excited, don't you? And sometimes that emotions and excitement can lead you to jump in a little bit. Now, that's not to say there wasn't a nice trade. There was a nice trade the other day, literally a second after the market opened. And I left it, but quite a few people took it, and it turned into a good trade in the end. But I find sometimes I'm better off when I have a chance to settle a little bit, because obviously the emotional side's the tough bit to deal with. But yeah, it's doing what I thought it was going to do. We had a couple of legs up. We came back down to the midline, and we bounced a few times, and we struggled to get through. We came back up and had another run at it, tried a couple of times there, back a little bit, another time there, and we just struggled. So for me, we've made a couple of attempts to go lower, and it's just struggling, so we're going up. And obviously, my workings was correct, but usually you would fade a range, but it's a bit too early to call it a range, really. We've just had these overnight highs, overnight lows, and really we're working up. But there you go. So I got out of it for break even anyway. It didn't cost me anything. So sometimes, I wasn't to know it was going to work for sure. But yeah, sometimes I think if you've got doubts, I think sometimes you're better off staying out or getting out if something doesn't feel right. At the end of the day, you get out for break even. You haven't lost anything. If you stay in, there's a chance you might do. So we've got this measured leg up here. There's also, if I'm looking on, there's Friday's highs of the day, 42.96. There's some liquidity up here as well. So for me, it's going to pick off that liquidity up there around about the 96 mark. If I went in there now, that would have worked. But trouble is, it is a little bit sideways, and sometimes you're better off. As I say, I think it's best off for me just to sit there for 15 minutes, just settle. you know, because you know what it's like. You get on there, the old, you know, the blood starts pumping, doesn't it? And sometimes you can get a little bit too excited. And I'm building the 1p account up nice now, so I want to take my time. It's took me a while to get back here again from last time when I blew that other PA account. So I'll see how we get on. So I hope everyone had a good weekend. Same again, it's wall-to-wall sunshine in the UK, certainly where I am in Shropshire area, which is, it's about 50 miles west of Birmingham, just in case anybody is not from, I think most of you guys are from other parts of the world, but it's just beautiful here. It's averaging around about 23 degrees centigrade, and it's just wall-to-wall sunshine. It's just beautiful. And we've had that now for nearly 3 weeks. So, but I wanted to have a chat with some of you guys today. I went out and had a few beers with a couple of mates of mine I hadn't seen for a few months. And one of them has had some problems with gambling, playing online slot machines. And he was describing the feeling and blah, 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 blah. And I was talking to another guy who's done a little bit of trading. And obviously gambling and trading to a degree are very similar in the way the emotions. You get that sort of buzz and that feeling when you win, and then you want to win more, and when you lose, you want to win it back. So they're all sort of interlinked, really. But I was talking with him about how we got out of that, because sometimes you do feel, you know, trading can be quite addictive. So it's trying to find that balance. So what I've had to do, because I just seem to want to keep trading, and I don't want to slip down that road about trading being my whole life. So I'm trying to separate. That's actually running up quite nice there. There is some liquidity around about there. Very strong liquidity. So I expect it to get to there. It's a shame, really. I didn't have the confidence to stay in there. But in all fairness, it is a little bit sideways. But yeah, I'm trying to give myself a hobby. So when I finish trading for the day, and I've done my job for the day, because I trade full time now. I trade 3 hours a day, Monday to Friday. I do a little bit of work weekends, just, you know, to bring some money in. But I'm trying to, because all I do weekend is think about trade, and it's stressing me out a little bit. I want to try and break from it, because it's beginning to take over my life a bit, and I don't really want to go down that road with it. I want it to be a source of a job, a career, an income, and nothing more, really. Let me just see if I can... yeah, that's that liquidity there, 300. Very strong, a little bit just under it, so I expect it to pop at it, that. But there's a lot of buying, strong pushing it up as well. So around about the 298 is a lot of buying here, and hence those push-ups. The buying's fading off a bit. Let's have a look. It's still coming in a bit. I think this is probably... There is some here, but I think we're going to have a pullback first, because the buy-ins faded off. There's more buying at 95, which is down here, or more orders down here. So I think this is probably going to come down a little bit before it hits this liquidity. Okay, 98, yeah, selling. There's more buying there, so I expect a bit of a pullback and then a push higher. So that would have worked anyway, but the trouble is, in all fairness, 1, 2, 3, there's clearly some support there, really, and it's not the sensible thing to do, is to go long into that support, although I had a fair idea what was going on, and it did what I thought it was going to do. But if I'd have lost that trade, the simple answer would have been, why did you go long into all that support? So it was one of those ones where you sort of know what's going on, but you just can't do it. Best to find a hobby away from the computer. Yeah, I find I'm on my PC all day and more likely to jump back in again. Yeah, mate, you sound exactly the same as me. You know, sometimes because I'm in the UK, I finish around about the 5:30. I'll go and have my dinner in the evening, and then sometimes I'll come back. I'm itching to come back. You know, if I've lost money, I'm itching to come back and make it back. If I've won money, I'm itching to come back and want to make more. Now that tells me I might be starting to get a little bit too addicted to it, you know. I don't I've never been interested in gambling before. It's never interested me. Betting on horses, betting on football, it's never bothered me. I've done it. You know, we have the Grand National once a year over here, and you know, in the past I've stuck a fiver on and stuff like that just because everyone else does. But you know, it's just never interested me, gambling. So I don't think I've got those tendencies, but I do feel sometimes that this business has a bit of a hold on me, and I don't like it. Now, I've always been the type of person that if I'm scared of something, I have to do it. You know, I went through a stage of being scared of flying for some reason, maybe sort of 8-10 years ago. So I had flying lessons. I forced myself to do it. I went over to, was it Mallorca, about, I don't know, 12 years ago, 11, 12 years ago with a mate, and he said, you want to do one of these try scuba dives? And I did one, and made me a bit anxious, a bit nervous, and I didn't like that feeling. So when I came back to the UK, I put myself through the PADI course, and did a dive course. But you know, I did a tandem skydive years ago when I was about 20. Frightened the shit out of me, and I hated the feeling that something scares me. So I ended up doing some skydiving for 6 months. But if something bothers me, or it gets to me, or I don't like the way something's doing, I try and alter it. And I just found over the weekend, I've just had that urge to want to trade. And after speaking to my mate over the weekend who's had problems with online slot machines, he's had to go to one of these apps that block you so you can't get onto them. And after chatting with him, I think I'm starting to get a little bit addicted to trading. So I'm trying to come up with a hobby or an interest to give me something else to focus on, something that sparks my interest to get me away from trading weekend. So that did exactly what I thought it was going to do. There was a lot of buy-in there, and all of a sudden the buy-in faded off, and I said we're going to have a bit of a pullback, and we came back to the EMA, and now buyers have come in, and this now is my target, 4,300. Although it's not a huge amount of buying, maybe we won't hit it. Maybe, well, I don't know, maybe we'll have a couple of legs down and try again, but you guys probably know what I mean. Sometimes it can get a bit addictive. You know, we all like to make money, and when the account's making money and we're doing well, it's a great feeling, and you want more of it. And then radio controlled cars. Never been much into cars, Nick, but I've had a couple of drones. I've had a couple of DJI drones. The Phantom 4 I had, and I ended up crashing it into a tree. But yeah, I used to fish a lot as well when I was younger. So I dug out my fishing gear over the weekend and cleaned the cobwebs off it. And I'm going to buy myself a fishing license and get back down. We got a local river, the River Severn in Shrewsbury where I live. And it's a great river for things like barbel and, you know, fish like that. But it's just I need to get away from trading. I need to do something because it has been my whole life an obsession for 2.5 years now. I eat, sleep and breathe. It's always at the forefront of my mind. It's completely taken over my life. Now, you know, there's an upside to it because you need to be a little bit focused and a little bit driven and a little bit obsessive because it's such a time-consuming thing to learn. It takes a lot of time and learning. Okay, there's that liquidity there. So it did what I expected it to do. We had a lot of buying here, and then the buying feathered off, and I said we're going to have a bit of a pullback. We had a pullback. Ticked to that EMA beautifully, pushed up, and for me, we're losing a few buyers again, but there is a lot of liquidity there. So once the general orders start to decrease a bit, then it'll start to veer towards the most liquidity, which is here. So I still expect to. Nice to hear you say that, Chris. Oh, about the obsessive sort of slightly addictive type of, yeah. I think that's what you mean anyway, but I think a lot of people feel it. Now, I did a little bit of research over the weekend, and there was loads of videos on YouTube about, are we addicted to trading? You know, traders are addicted to it a little bit, purely and simply because you get the same sort of sensation as gambling. You get those, you know, that beautiful. So it's picking up that liquidity now. There we go. It's gone. So it did what I thought it was going to do, but it's the same sort of feeling you get as gambling. You know, if you bet on something, you bet on a football match or something, and you get a win, it's a buzz, isn't it? It's a good feeling, and you want more of it. But it's trying to find a balance, because obviously you need to spend time, you know, trading and trade. It takes a lot of time. It's not something that happens quick. It takes years. You know, I would certainly say 2 to 3 years to really start to become consistent. But then I think you're still going to have off days and rough times. And I don't know, maybe when you're looking at 3, 4, maybe 5 years, things just keep getting better and better the more you do it. But okay, so I've seen now the contracts and liquidity has completely died. Completely died. If anybody's looking at Bookmap, you're looking at yeah, there's not a lot in the way now. So I say we're going to go a bit sideways, and we've got that news coming up in about 15 minutes. So after that initial push in that liquidity, to pick up that liquidity, so we've had an overshoot there, but I'm just wondering whether maybe I'd get a bigger, that may be a bit bigger channel. It possibly is, actually. Maybe it is. Let's leave it like that for now. Let's pull it down a touch. Yeah, maybe something like that. But yeah, part of the reason why I like to talk about how I feel and what things, you know, what things I find hard, because I think it's a lot of what I feel is incredibly common with most traders, and we all go through it. And sometimes you think, is it just me? But it's surprising how many people, you know, will go through that time of finding things really tough. And I, you know, I've had, when I've lost accounts and blown accounts, sometimes I feel physically sick. Sometimes I put my head in my hands and I feel like I could literally cry. It's that frustrating. But I'm lucky in a way, 2 to 3 days off, and I seem to come back with enthusiasm. You know, I'm going to work harder, I'm going to try harder, and I'm going to try this, I'm going to do this, and all this sort of stuff. But I did chat to another experienced trader over the weekend, and he did say, you've only been doing it 2.5 years. It's still very early. Don't expect too much. It takes time to get that brain to work like a trader. You know, the way we act, where we jump in, it's a perfectly normal way to react, you know, for anybody who doesn't trade. So, So I'm just trying to relax a little bit and not jump into a trade too early, and then just, you know, see if I can't sort of slowly improve. But really, trading is simple. You sit patiently and you wait for a setup. You see a good setup and you take it. But doing it is a completely different ballgame. Once those emotions kick in, and I think you're always going to have emotions, but I think they'll just decrease to a degree. Whereas, you know, if you've been trading for 5 years and you've been making money every month, if you lose a trade, it's no biggie, is it? You know you're making money, you know you can trade. So that news comes up in about 12 minutes, but yeah, it can be tough at times. I think we may be getting a bit of a trend here. Liquidities. In fact, there's a lot of liquidity down here. 42.75. See, lately we've had some really good runs, haven't we? I mean, look at that. Oh, I cleared out all my back data, so we're getting some really good runs lately. We've had some really strong days, and we may be getting another one. So it's clearly pushing up nicely. It looked to me, when it came back and bounced a bunch of times and it hit that top again, came back down and tried again. So for me, actually, looking back, that was actually quite a nice trade. But at the time, you know, I was traded into these highs, which is just, I don't know. If it works great. But you just don't know. That's the problem. So this might be a second entry long. Trouble is, the news is in 12 minutes. And if it does go sideways and you get stuck in that, you're going to get your arse shafted. And we don't like that, do we? So, but it does look like a nice second entry long there. News is in 12 minutes. Oh, I'm so tempted.
Order submitted.
Let's see how it finishes. No.
Order
Oh,
cancelled.
thank Christ for that. Cancel all orders. Fine, everything. Yeah, okay. I'm not getting into a trade now. Just too risky. I put trading in third place. Scaled down on my PAs. No need to rush. Fully paid PA. Rush the eval. Rush the eval. Get the monthly fee out. And then be patient. Yeah, I agree with that. Oh, look at that. That's so nice. I so want to take that, but I'm not going to. That's a lovely second entry long. Oh, I can't. Loads of liquidity at 300. That's a 2-pointer. If it's a lovely trade, that, I think, right off the key entry point. Trouble is, we've got the news in 10 minutes. If it goes sideways, which it could do, then yeah, unfortunately, I've got to let go there. Oh, well, might not even work. Wow. I was quite surprised. That, for me, was a nice second entry. Clearly sitting on here nice, closed above the EMA. Wow. I am shocked. Quite glad I stayed out of that now. Wow. I would have 100% taken that. Second entry long. Wow. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, so microtrend break, new low. Okay, there's this area here, 1, 2, 3. Perhaps we're going to get a triple test. Trouble is, it's just too close. Trouble is, you get stuck in a sideways trade, you're screwed. Yeah, I mean, although we've had this channel, it doesn't mean we haven't got a range. Just might hit the top of it. 1 leg, 2 leg. That looks like 2 legs down. See how that finishes. It's just. Oh, Sunny, how you doing, bud? How are you? No break in the microtrend. Yeah. Little microtrend break there, new low. So there's a bullish bar there, and it looks like 2 legs down to me. I don't think that's a terrible place to go long, but obviously the news is. I would say that would almost definitely push to the EMA. Would you have got 2 points out of that? There's your 2 points. It looks like 1 leg break, new low. Trouble is way too close to the news. And I've given up taking those. It's just float in the middle of nowhere, really, isn't it? And that's going to get stopped there. Yeah. Yeah, I've given up taking them. They just don't work half the time. Dow Jones is weak today, is it really? Yeah, so although we've had this channel, it could still be a range day. Might come down, bounce a bit, push up and down. It's hard to say at the moment. Or what I suspect it may be is a leg with maybe a 2-legged correction. Maybe, let's have a look. There's a mid-range in it. Guessing something like that. Maybe a couple of legs. Probably another push up back to the EMA and then down again. But there is very strong liquidity down here. Whether we'll get down there or not, who knows? Strong there. 275. Uh, mm. Mm. What have I just deleted? I just deleted. Actually, it looks like 3 little legs. That does 1 leg, 2 legs, 3 legs. See what happens around here. There's a lot of buying at 290, which is here. Yes, may go up 4316. Yeah, there is. There's a lot of liquidity up here, but it's very strong down there at that 275. So it looks like 3 little legs: 1 leg, 2 legs, and 3 legs. It's off the overnight highs, maybe, which is more or less around this midline, isn't it? We see this a lot, don't we? A leg, and then a bit of a correction, and then another leg. 290, strong at 290. There's a lot of buy orders at 290. See if we get down there. But there's still quite a lot of selling here, so don't be shocked if we do come down for another leg. There's some strong buying at 290. If we can manage to absorb this and get down some more, there's a thick lump of liquidity down here. It's coming down. It's coming down. Certainly to that 290. Okay, let's pick that up. That's gone now, that 290 NASDAQ. Heavy selling going on from Friday. Yeah, I think we're going to come down to the bottoms here personally. Maybe lower because there's some really strong there. And what I'm finding, there's a lot of selling all the way down here. So I can see this coming right down. Yeah, there's lots of selling around around about here. So I can see this personally coming down, maybe down here somewhere, maybe even lower. Just from what I'm seeing on Bookmap. Got your 2 points on that move done. Good on you, mate. Where did you go for there, or did you go up here somewhere? I think you'd have got 2 points there, wouldn't you? But let's have a look. Yeah, there's lots of selling starting to come in down here, and it's almost making a pathway down like this. 288. There's some buy orders, so trusting. If you can get 2 points and go, Sam, that's a good system you got there, mate. As I mentioned earlier, it can be quite consuming trading, and sometimes if you can get in, get your money, get a couple of points and get out, and you can do it without having the urge to come back, I think you're onto a good one there, mate. I don't feel like I've broken the cycle yet, but I'm working hard. Got it from the 93s. Yeah, I thought you might have done. I think we're coming down a bit more. Oh, maybe not. Liquidity has dropped a bit. What's going on? Perhaps because we've hit that 50% level. The stronger liquidity now is up here. There's still some down here. But a lot is dropped off from here. So I think we're going to work up now. I think this is a push down. There's a lot at 300. I don't know. Strong buying at 300. Sorry, strong selling at 300. Strong buying here. Yes, avoid sell side trade unless it crosses 42.82. Avoid what? Avoid selling. I got you. Okay, interesting. 300. There's 300. Okay, that's gone straight up to that lump of liquidity up there and taken it. Wow. Taken 01 as well. Woof, straight up. I don't know what's caused that. Wow. I didn't see that coming. We set the highs of the previous channel. Yeah, of course we have. Channel up, break new high. Still some liquidity at 305. Strong buy-in at 42.88. 42.88, which is around about here. So, this looks like it's coming down. Quickly, I might add. Okay, so yeah, nice channel up. We had a break. Nothing that you could say was a way up really, but it just, that was it. We hit this point, which was actually the open, and then pushed up. V shapes. I'm glad I got out. Yeah, I bet you are, Sam. Just news. Well, the news should be over and done with. The 3 o'clock news. Oh no, of course it is. What am I talking about? It's just 3 o'clock. That's what that is. The news. Of course it is. I thought the news was done and dusted, to be honest with you. I've forgotten about the news. I've got to put some sort of alert or an alarm on. I have. Yeah, of course that's news, isn't it? Of course it is. Okay, so nothing what you would call major in the way of news. Let's put that there. Push out. Okay, yeah, of course that's why all the so all the liquidity just dried up. If you look on Bookmap, obviously you got all these different lines. All of a sudden, it all went black. Okay, so that's probably the little bit of excitement from the news, but we did what we'd expect to do anyway. After that channel, have a break and a new extreme. So 88 is the strong stuff down here. So I would say 1 leg down, 2 legs down. Tempted. There's just no way short, really. Maybe we can get another. No, damn it. Darn. Yeah, one leg, two leg. There's a failure there. Trouble is, we've had a push down of that channel. We had a break and made a new low, so that's strong down there, really strong. We got this channel down here. We had a break and two pushes down to a new low. We haven't made this measure leg there. I don't think that's a terrible trade. Trouble is, there's no room to the it's just risky, isn't it? It's a little bit congested there. I expect that to push down here, but it's just a bit too congested to take a trade. Does look tempting, but the reason it's tempting, I expect it to make this measured leg, which is probably going to do. But there's 3 bars stacked side by side. Some sell orders at 96, which is here. So SPY's buying zone means operators are doing buying. I can still see this coming down. There's still a lot of liquidity around here, so yeah, it's just looking bearish as I expect that. Could call that a lower high. I expect to at least come down to this liquidity, or this measured leg. It's there. Okay, so that would have worked. That one would have worked. I'm just not a fan of that one. That looked kind of interesting. But no, I'm just not a fan of taking them right in the middle of this range, in all fairness. Just in case. Okay, so that measured leg's played out nicely. I still expect it to come hit that fat. That's more 88. Yeah, it's about there. That is. Nice 2 points there. I'm on fire. Did you take that one, did you? I looked at it. Trouble is, from this, we've already made low. Had a couple of pushes down to a new low, so you just don't know, do you? But so we're going to try go once, try go twice, failure. Another new high. So there's a new high after that one, so that's a lower high. As I say, there's a lot of liquidity down here, so I thought the chances of coming down were pretty good. Certainly enough for 2 points, and it did. Came down to the open again, which it did last time. But then it's pushed up strong, look. Don't forget, guys, that What's It runs out a week today. The 80% off. Has been extended. Most of you probably know anyway. It's been extended to a week today, the 12th. So if you have used my code, or you do use my code, it's down there as usual, then it's much appreciated. Yeah, I can't think about going along until we pick that lot up. But then again, down 75, I think we're coming down personally. Just from what I can see on this book map. The strongest liquidity of the day is at 75, 42.75, so it does look like it's working down. Hope you all remember breakout level given 41.98. 41. You think we're coming down to 41.98? So yeah, I don't quite understand what you mean there, bud. Hope you'll remember breakout level given 41.98, given almost 100 points in buy side. Can you explain that a bit more? Just explain it like you're talking to a bunch of kids, because you're a bit more experienced than a lot of us, mate. Certainly more than me. You mean we're coming down? You must do 41.98. 41. That's a massive amount down, isn't it? 41.98. Can't see it. In all fairness, we've had a lot of up days, so I wouldn't be shocked if we did have a good drop. Every time it comes back to that EMA, it's coming lower and lower. So that liquidity is about to get hit, and their buy orders or take profits for the shorts, either or. There's some at 85, and there's some strong liquidity down here, so I can see us just keep coming down. Maybe it's a spiking channel, I don't know, but it kind of fits kind of like nice like that. Hit that liquidity, boom, there we go. That's all been sucked up. Okay, so there's some more 85, which is down here. Okay, so at least it's moving. It's not, apart from the exception of this and this, a little bit of chop, it's actually moving. So at least if there are opportunities, you can get your points pretty straightforward. And here's a mass of buy orders down here, whether they're buy orders or take profit orders, either or. It was based on one pattern which was explained in detail, i.e. 2 lower lows and touching start point. So what you're saying is basically we're looking for shorts, really. The market's literally going short. Am I right in saying that? It may even be sort of like a bit of a spiking channel. Let's have a look. Possibly. By the 18th of April. Okay, so that's been picked up. There's some at 85, which is here. I expect that to be hit. Uninterested night out on Saturday night. Came home with no roof of the mouth, which always tells me I've had a good night. It means I've had a pizza. I never let my pizza cool down. I always eat it too quick and end up having no skin on the roof of my mouth the following morning. Drunk a humongous amount of whiskey and cider. Apparently, I got up in the morning and there was lots of toilet roll around the base of the loo. Apparently I peed and never lifted the seat. So it was quite a... Well, it was a good... I think it was a good night. So I don't go out as much lately, but when I do, I tend to... I needed a bit of a blowout, though. I just felt pretty stressed lately from trading, so it did me the world of good. Still got a tender roof of the mouth, though. Okay, so yeah, look what's going on here. There's still some at 85, very strong down here, so hopefully this may be a break. In fact, or it might not be. Mel unit weekends. Trouble is, as I'm getting older, I'm remembering less and less, and that's the scary bit. But it was a good night, actually. I hadn't been out with some friends for a long time, and I needed a bit of a blowout. So, but I just wish I could remember all of it. I'm not 100% sure where that channel is. Now, it could be here like this. In which case, actually, that looks okay. I think it's any. It's hard to say. It might be in, it might be outside that. Either way, if it's inside, I'd expect it to come down some more. If it has broken outside, I'd still expect it to come down. You've got to be so careful with these. Or it could be like that. It's so hard to say. That actually doesn't look too bad because it's almost like working in this bottom tier. There is a lot of liquidity there, so if I can find a way to get 2 points out of this. There's shorts at 92, so maybe if we get another couple of legs up here. I mean, you've got to be so careful with these. It's like a little channel with a break. You'd expect a new high, wouldn't you? But if we're in a strong channel, you don't always get it. I'm not 100% sure I've got that in the right place. It kind of looks okay. We've touched here, we've touched here. And this action here is sort of within this back tier, if you like. Okay, so it's looking like it's working down, but I'd rather it push up first and then give me something a little bit better. It's a little bit not clear for me, that. We got a little channel there, we have a break and it could push up again, so I want to make sure I get something half decent. But there is some strong liquidity down here, so if I can find a way down, there's certainly some points there to be taken. That's only really a first entry. Yeah, it's just too risky, that. Especially with that now there. Okay, it's a lot of selling at 290 there, so if we can get a push up, pick up that selling, it might bring us down and stop out any longs. Let's have a look. 290 it is, so it needs to come up a little bit more. Okay, so I consider that a lower high. If that can pick off that short order there, 290, and then come down bearish after picking them up, nearly there, another bit more. Did it hit it or not? No, it's still there. There's 300 orders there, so if it can tick a higher and then come down bearish. Okay, that's picked up that liquidity there. See what happens now. I'm not happy about just a higher low. I'd rather have a failure, to be honest with you, just in case, because we've had a double bottom there, so that could be working back up. I don't think it is, but it might be. Oh no, it's not a double bottom. Tell a lie. Right, something about that I don't like. Something about it I don't like. Anything from market. Yeah, something didn't look right. We may have a little bit of sideways and it may come down, or it just does look like a double bottom, doesn't it? Oh no, nothing yet. Trouble is, I'm a bit hesitant not to take something there because I'm not sure whether that channel is right. I don't think it looks bad. It fits kind of nice at the back. We touched here. But it's a bit congested there, see? I mean, if you look, it's actually come down. It's touched that midline once, twice. If it pushes up here, touches again, and gives us something bearish, then that might be a triple test. And then we might push down there. It's also a failure, that. Trying to go once, trying to go twice. It's a failure. Could call it triple tests. No, something I don't like about it. I'm just trying to be on my best behaviour. You're starting from the second swing channel, not the right. It's a spiking channel. Well, I had it as a spiking channel initially. In which case it would be there, wouldn't it? That's what I mean. Whether I have it there or there, I would consider it a break. Whether it was in the channel, you'd think we'd still come down lower, or if we've had a break, you think we still come down lower. So we've had a break, but we haven't made a new low. That's what I mean. So you would still expect a new low. There's a lot of liquidity down there. So there's a little bits of selling around here. So I still think from what I can see on Bookmap that we're coming down. Touch, a break. Whether you, I don't know, see if you look at that, you could swing that out a tiny touch, couldn't you? And bring that down there. In which case that would fit also quite well, wouldn't it? In which case we've had a break, we're coming down, so possible second entry short. Trouble is it's congested there, so it could do bloody anything. I kind of like that bar.
Order submitted.
Come back and get me. Something I don't like about it. It's a lower high, isn't it? It's a failure and then a lower high. I like the bar. I do. We get below here. The trouble is, it's just there's something about it I don't like. It is a second entry short, isn't it? Something I don't like. I'm going to try and listen to that
Cancelled.
feeling. I think it's coming down. I'd expect to hit this. It's just something I don't like about it. And that might be the reason why I think it's probably, we haven't had menu yet, I think you stop up there. It's just, see what happens. I don't know, it's just something I don't like. It's just made me a little bit uncomfortable, that has, so. It's a second entry to, yeah. See, first entry. I can't remember what it is now, but. Okay, so. I think that's probably the safer trade, isn't it? It's just something I don't like. It's congested, so I think it's risky. There is still strong liquidity down here, so I expect it to get here. And funnily enough, it hasn't broken above there. It's just something I don't like. See here, we're getting higher lows. So something I don't like, so I'm leaving it alone. That's triggered now. I'd say there's going to be some shorts there. There's going to be some shorts there. So there's going to be quite a few stops there. So, and I just don't like the fact that we got a new low here. That one's slightly higher. That one's slightly higher. I'm nervous because I'm not 100% sure that this channel is right. It might be right. It might be not right. Highly critical level for Nasdaq. So now, does anyone's bars look different than Lance's? Oh, don't tell me that, mate. You're stressing me out now. Right, okay, I'll tell you what. Let's do another reload, especially for you, Nick. Let's reload it, see if it looks any different. Doesn't make no difference to me anyway, so... Oh, mate, what a mess. What have you done to me? Channels all over the shop. Let's have a look. Oh, don't do that to me now. From what I can see, it's probably coming down. But I'm just nervous. Might be you. Okay, so I've reloaded it again. Does it look any different for me? It's hard to say. I don't know whether that channel's right. It kind of looks right, but it might not be. So you call this a break? We haven't made a new low there, but look what's happening. Higher than that one, higher than that one. Look at this. But what I will say, in a lot of these cases, when they go sideways, they usually work their way down. So I think if you've got stops above there, I think you're okay. I see this a lot, a little bit uncertainty, but we haven't made a new low, so I'd expect a new low. So I think if you've got shorts in there, you may have shorts there, you may have short. Probably that's the more light one. You took the triple test, 1, 2, 3, yeah. Something about it's making me nervous. But I think you got 2 points out of there, but JJ, didn't you? Let's have a look. I like the bar, I got to say, and yeah, push up, come up again, come up the third time. That's what I mean. Usually they'll work their way out, but something just doesn't feel right. But you wouldn't have got 2 points. Let's see what's happening here. Touch. Each one's higher. So it could do either. There's going to be a shitload of stops there, put it that way. So it might break them stops, hopefully, because it's building up, they might hold. So if this comes bearish, that will be a second entry short as well. In which case, if that finishes bearish, then I think that's our way down. Extend the range. You extending it down here, are you? Or I think they're going to get the stops, are going to get it. Yeah, okay, so that's just something just didn't feel right. The way this bottom was higher than that one, that bottom was higher than that one, so you wouldn't have got, depending on what you're scalping, you wouldn't have got 2 points out of it. But yeah, I don't know, I can't put my finger on it sometimes. Sometimes I get a feeling something doesn't feel right. And that's probably because I've been stung in the past with a trade. So, you know, sometimes you got these things got to happen enough times for you to work out what. But what they do is give you a feeling it doesn't look right or something doesn't feel right. So that's what I mean. See, we're ranging, aren't we? So it might be a leg up, bit of sideways, no leg up. We may still come down yet, but I tend to, that feeling I get, I tend to listen to it, and it does me in good stead, I think. So that was a good decision to stay out of that. That one I looked at, that one I seriously looked at, because that probably, unfortunately, looked the nicest one of the bunch. Now, will Mac mark that? Probably, because it's scalp for a point. Small range. Oh, is it? Okay. So depending on where I try and get a limit order now and drop it right on the bottom of the bar because it saves me a tick. So you wouldn't have got 2 points, but if you were scalping 6 ticks or a point, you'd have been okay. Okay, yeah. I expected, see, there is a lot of liquidity down here, but it's got to have enough sellers selling to push it down. And then it'll pick up that. See, the strongest liquidity of the day so far I can see is down here. So this just might be, I don't know, a leg up and a leg up. No idea, but that's my point. I don't exactly know where that channel is. It'd be interesting to see what Mac's got. I think he's back today, isn't he? Still nothing yet. Yeah, someone let me know if you see if something pops up from Mac. Okay, so from what I can see, we seem to be ranging. So you may fade that. I don't know whether it'll work or not, but what I don't like is these bottoms are progressively getting higher. Okay, Tanner, who cares about the channel? What's the context of the day? Sideways. I care about the channel. How you doing, Kay? Context of the day is sideways. I still expect it to hit this liquidity down here or maybe aim towards these lows. In fact, I'm just wondering whether... what are range trades, I wonder? What do you mean, what are they? You're being cryptic? Go back channels. No, but I mean, if you got the channel right and you have a break, but that's what I mean, unless you've got the channel working right, and you have a break, you'd expect a new low. Now, I know, granted, it doesn't always make it in a range, but obviously that one did. I expect that one to do, but depending on how you've got your channel, if you've taken it from there, I'm guessing that is more likely. But even if you draw it like that, it still hasn't made a new low. Now, I know sometimes they don't. But, you know, sometimes they'll go a bit sideways. I mean, this one. What I have noticed lately from a lot of channels, what I've noticed, see if this rings any bells. Oh, he's down, is he? Okay. What I've noticed lately, when we get these channels, we have a break. A lot of the times we get a couple of legs down to there and then push up, but we seem to have a lot more of a break nowadays. Does that make sense to you? There was a channel the other day and we came down a bit more and then we started working up. You know, it didn't seem long ago for some reason we get a channel, we get a small break, maybe two legs down, then we push up, but we seem to get such a bigger break now. You almost feel like it's not a break, it's something else. Logged into Pats. Yeah, I've just been in there. There's no issues. It's just there's nothing showing yet. Okay, so let's say we've had a break. We've tried to go. In fact, you could even bring this like this, couldn't you? And just say, that's cool. We've had a small break there. Try to go low once, try to go twice, try to go 3 times. Once you try to go lower a few times, then obviously shorts might give up and up we go. But I'm guessing that this may let's just put that like that for now. And I'm guessing that just might be a break. And then we've had a break there, so it's let's leave that there. So yeah, it's probably working up from now. Obviously we tried to go lower a bunch of times. So I'm guessing we're looking for longs. See, trouble is, it could break quite a bit, couldn't it? And then come down there. And in the meantime, we're thinking it's going up. He's been away, hasn't he, for a week? He went away, was it to Alaska or something, fishing, I think it was last week, wasn't it? So, is that better, Nick, is it? Just read what you put. Yeah, see, I'm just wondering what's going on here. Maybe we've had a bit of a break and a bit of sideways, and maybe we're coming down. Maybe this is going to trigger some longs and then we're going to push down and finally make a new low. Yeah, chart's up okay. The website's okay. There's just nothing in it yet. Yeah, it's working all right. There's just nothing there just yet. Midday charts. Come on, Mac, we need you. We should get them on speed dial. 5th of the set. Oh, here we go. Just come in. Just got it. Just come up. Let's see what he's got. Okay, so yes, he's got his from there, and okay, I'll tell you what, he's got that like that, but it's touching there, and that's a small break. Yeah. All right, he's actually got it there like that. Because that's quite a big break. That I don't. It's probably more like that, isn't it? But anyway, there's a break and a new low. So he's got that there. And at the moment, his is finished here. So, okay, so yeah, so it's a spike and channel with that break. He's got that as his break. So, yeah, okay. Max is finished about here. So, I'm guessing now we're moving up, so let's just get that over there. We've come back and retested this a bunch of times, so I'm guessing yeah, I'm guessing we're going up. That's yesterday's highs. We can bin that now. Where's the open? On there. Okay, there's the open. Open push up, yeah. Okay, so okay, yeah. So he's just basically got it the same as we have there. He's got it coming from there, and that's his break there, and we've come down. So it's already made a break. It's not the cleanest. Try again. Oh. It's not the cleanest chart. Sorry, trend. It's not the cleanest of looking trends. But But sometimes they're not, are they? Hell is that? Okay, excuse me just for 2 minutes. I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. Okay. Yeah, it is a bit, isn't it? Sort of had an idea it was going up by the way we're making these higher lows, but trouble is, I looked at that one. You could sort of call that a second entry, couldn't you? Because it's broken below there. We've tried to push down once, tried to push down twice. I kind of like that. But it's just, see that there, the open there, it's just holding against that open. It just made me a little bit uncertain. Oh, Christ, how big is it? Oh, there we go. Okay. So, 300, there's some strong liquidity up there, so I expect it to get there eventually. There is some selling between, a little bit of selling, so we may make a pullback there. Not convinced that, is it? we can, there is a little bit of selling here, so if we can get a break back to the EMA, I might be interested in going long up to here there, because that's where I think we're going to go. There's a lot of liquidity up there and a touch higher, 301, the highs of this. So if we can get a couple of legs down to here and a decent signal bar, there's some buying at 94. So if we can work our way down close to this midline, then I'll be interested in going short, going long there.
Order submitted.
Come on, down to here. There's some buying at 92. So if we can maybe 93, 92 to 94 around this area. So just wondering whether the reason I'm extending it is because if we do come down to 92 area, it's the bottom of the channel. I think it might be right. It's hard to say at the moment, really, but
Order cancelled.
come on, get a couple of legs down here. Same again. It's not the best looking channel, is it? Again, that one was a bit just unusual. Usually I can spot them a mile away, you know, they're pretty straightforward, but touch. It's not too bad, but it's not the best looking one, is it? There is some strong buying around about the 92 to 94, so if we can work our way down to here, then I fancy working our way up then. I'm clearly ranging, really, aren't we? But you know what? It could be a leg and like two. I mean, there was a bit of news there which caused that little bit of, you know, that little bit of a spike, I think. But it does look like a leg and then two legs of correction. I expect another leg up here, but just like so many times. What's up there? 302. There's some. Not so much, but we may get something like that. I don't know. Possibly. But I certainly expected to get to here, but unfortunately it hasn't even got close to the EMA really, and there isn't a setup there anyway. The trouble is, you take something like, I mean, you can maybe call that a second entry, you can recount those, but you take that, half the time it'll trigger up and stop you out, and then when you don't take it, it just carries on up. So that's kind of frustrating really, but that's the name of the game. 300 is the strong liquidity area, so, and there's still buyers pushing up. There's still reasonable buyers considering that, pushing that higher. It's definitely moving up, no argument there, but the trouble is, we're that far from the EMA, there's nothing we can take. In fact, we're going sideways, aren't we? I'm going to take this channel and put it to there, because that's really where we started pushing up and out of. So if we can adjust that like that, that kind of fit quite nice there. Touch. Yeah, it kind of works. 95 to 93, so around here. So if we can get back here a couple of legs, then I'll have a go at going long there. Yeah, some liquidity here, and then 300 then. So if we can get a second entry from here somewhere, that would interest me. Okay, come on, get down here and give us something half decent.
Order submitted. Order canceled.
There's lots of buying around the 92, around about here. So we get one leg, two leg. Okay, first entry. Okay, that's what I want it to come down. Some short at 95, 94. Drop a touch more, that should take us down to this area here. fact, I'm just wondering now whether we can get this to back to where I expected it to get, around about there. It's not the easiest day to mark channels today. There's some tricky looking channels out there. So there is a lot of liquidity. Well, not a lot actually. It's changed a bit at 92. So if we can have a little, well, we've got a channel. If we can have a break and touch that, that may give us then a run up here, because there's a lot of liquidity up here. And obviously this would be the top of the range. So come back down a bit. Come on. Get down here. Then I'm for going long then. There's a lot of strong liquidity around about here, and a touch higher than that really than is the top of that. I mean, it's clearly ranging with the exception of this. So I don't know whether you take that down the bottom. I think it certainly touches more there. It touches 3 times there, and it's close enough there, isn't it? But I'm guessing there's just been a bit of a well, I don't know what that is. There's a bit of a break there, but obviously there was that news event which sort of caused that little bit. But then we came back. So that's the frustrating thing, really. I want to break at a new low, really. I just don't want to take a long right in the middle of that small downtrend. Not to say it's not going to work, but I just don't like the fact that there is some liquidity around about 92, 93 that it may pick up first. No real setup there. No, I don't either. It doesn't look right today. See, that channel's probably a really funny, odd-looking channel, isn't it? Same again, and this as well. It's not, it's not conforming today, is it? It's pretty a little bit erratic, a little bit. There's lots of stems, isn't there? Lots of stems. It's a little bit erratic. I do. Sometimes we get days that just don't make a lot of sense, really. I'm hoping we come down to this night. Well, certainly down here again. Okay, one leg down, maybe just give us something else, and then a final push. Come on, come down here. Right, literally just above that midline. So I'm going to get rid of it because it's just in the way a bit. But it's literally a tick above that, not midline, the open, the official open. It's a tick above that official open. So the liquidity is around about the 92. So if we can just nick that liquidity there, break down below and push up, then maybe we take a higher low when it gets a bit further back up. So it's just a tick below there, that second leg, tick below that green open line there. Short-term trend channel break, new low. Come on, push down. Liquidity here is strong, so if we can push down a touch more and pick up some more of them buy orders, then I think we'll touch. So it's a little bit hard to judge that, to be honest with you. It's not the clearest of channels. So Nasdaq is above that. Buys, yes, may touch 4316. Yeah. That'd be nice. All I'm interested in is getting a decent setup here and getting out here. Inside bar, just too risky. Break above this and then push down. How's it going, Lance? No trades yet. No, you've caught me on a moment of patience and clarity, which is a bit unnerving. My 1p account is at $4,200, so it's in a nice position now where I can start to relax a little bit more. But what I've got to do is work to keep it. So I'm just trying to be on my best. There's nothing, you know, I've finally, well, I say I've finally learned. I'm learning the hard way. There's nothing like the feeling of being in a trade, you know, you probably shouldn't have taken. It just makes you feel physically sick. So I'm just trying to wait for a trade to jump out at me and wave in front of me and go, here I am, pick me up, you know. I'm trying to stay out the rest of it. If it means I just get one trade a day, then so be it. But much better to just, you know, trade one trade and get a winner rather than having a winner and a loser, you know, or a winner, a loser, and a winner, whatever, you know, whatever the case. But, yeah, I'm just trying to be on my best behaviour, mate. Okay, so just got to be so careful here. We have made a new lower, haven't we? Interesting. So now we've bounced off the bottom of this channel and it looks right to me. And for me, the liquidity is up here. So if we can get a short here, a bearish bar there that triggers, that may trigger some shorts and we may be able to ride up. Patience always pays. Yeah, it certainly does, mate. Do you know, the strange thing is, sometimes you start trading with all the best intentions and you just don't operate the same. So what I've started doing, I've listened to those trader affirmations that says, you know, you're a consistent, profitable, patient trader. And I try and play something like that for 15 minutes and just sit quietly and try and breathe and try and just get myself focused a little bit. Okay, so we've got to push down, we've got to break, we've got a matching low. So I was kind of hoping that bar would trigger and then push up, but I don't know. I'm not 100% convinced that channel is right. I can't see any better way of putting it. They don't fit very well, the channels this morning. Usually they fit like a dream. But yeah, if you can muster the patience. Some days I'll quite happily sit there and not take a trade, and I kind of feel good because if I've sat there for 3 hours and I've managed to hold my patience and not take a trade simply because there hasn't been a decent one, I consider that a success. But then I seem to have a day or two of real nice clarity and good decision making, and then followed by a day with a stupid trade or two. I'm just assuming the more I keep working and trying, then the better it'll get. Okay, that looks like it might be going up. I was hoping that would trigger there and maybe people would go short in the higher low and that'll be a way up, but I wouldn't say I'm super confident in that channel. I can't see how it's working any better. That's the real big channel. That's a real big channel for a range day. Well, that one's the same, isn't it? But Mac had that one down, so there's not a lot. I mean, that could probably come down a touch, but there's not a lot of difference really in the two, is there? I don't see any good setup. No, I can't really. I mean, that did look like a bottoming pattern, so whether you... I don't know. There's nothing I can see that jumps at me. Trouble is, I mean, we've had this sort of leg, haven't we? And with the exception of the news, it's almost been like a two-legged correction. It may just continue up, but someone else mentioned that the other day about doing channels in a range day, but then I've looked through some of Mac's and he has channels just like this and bigger than them, so I don't know. I do them anyway. At least then if I am going, you know, long, at least I know the area, you know, to pick. Oh, I think it was Kay Tanner said not, don't, I don't know. I looked at Max and Max got that one. Exactly the same. He's got that one. So I don't know. I mean, it might not be, but it seems to be. We've touched here. It's clearly sort of working along that bottom. So I don't know. It's the best I got. Okay, you can call that a lower high, higher low. Just not a fan of it. Greetings. Hope you are doing well, kind sir. Happy to see 100 live viewers. Oh yeah, excellent. 104 actually. Oh, well, that's a good one. It hasn't been that for a while. Excellent. I'm assuming all the other streamers are having a day off, I think. So I think a few have stopped, didn't they? I think Sam stopped temporarily. I think hopefully he'll be back soon. He's a nice lad, Sam is, from Fife Trader. And the Moo guy as well. He's a nice guy. I chatted with him for YouTube. He's a nice young lad, nice lad. And he had I think he had something like 20p account. So whether he's had problems with that, it is unfortunate when you have, you know. But I thought he had. I liked his patience. I thought he was good with the patience. I wished I had a bit more patience that he had. So hopefully he'd be back. But you know, streaming isn't for everyone. I'm an out loud thinker. I like to talk anyway. So you know, you guys might think I might be talking directly to you, but a lot of times I'm just talking through these scenarios in my head. So I think it suits my personality because I'm a bit of a, you know, a bit of a chatter. But it might not suit everybody. But I hope he's doing well anyway. Everyone's doing. I'm not, you know, us and them. YouTube's not for me. It's just, this is just a platform, really. You know, I don't mind what anybody does. I'll happily advertise someone on this channel. It doesn't bother me. You know, the money I want to make is from trading. You know, not from YouTubing or whatever. Okay, so there's still some of that liquidity around about the 94. Okay, so we got a new high there after that. And this could be just, we're pushing up there. We've come to this side. We've come down. We pushed up. We tried to come down twice more. I don't think that'd be a bad place to take a long, to be honest with it. Momo, not around anymore. Momo. The Moo guy. Yeah, I thought he was okay. He was a nice enough young lad. I thought he was doing really well. But the thing is, you don't know. I mean, I've blown accounts outside the, I mentioned one the other day. I blew one, was it Thursday? Outside of normal trading hours. It does happen and it is tough. And anybody that's done any type of trading, we all know. So I don't know. I wish him all well anyway. I know how hard this business is. I only wish, everyone success with it at some point. You put the work in, you put the hours in. I believe you should get your reward. Yeah, there's still some liquidity there. It's turning into a little bit of a choppy day. Choppy around here, choppy there, choppy there. Same again, a little bit round here. I mean, that was the only bit that was a bit more straightforward, but after that, could call that. I prefer that to be at this level. I just can't take it really. It's risky. It could break lower. I certainly expect to hit this area at some point. We're certainly slowly winding up to it, aren't we? Trouble is, you could take that and it might come down and have another leg down, hit this load of liquidity, push higher. In fact, it could even be a little bit of sideways there, in all fairness. It's possible. Maybe not just yet. Where's that liquidity? 97. Oh, some sellers at 97. That's what's caused that then. Some sell at 98. Interesting. Maybe we're going to have a break. Still more selling at 97. So if we push up to here, there's more short in there. So yeah, I don't want to go into long into those shorts. 97, 98. There's quite a few shorts there. Leaving to French trade now, but wait for W to form on the day low side. So, okay, all right. Yeah, second entry long there. I just don't like it. It's choppy. This is dangerous. That's dangerous. Just with that sheer amount of buy orders down there. I know, mate. I know. Isn't it glorious? We've had 100 before, but not for a while. It's just because there's not much other streaming. I think I'm I'm the only one left, I think, aren't I? Hey, it's not that you want to choose me. I think you're just stuck with me. I think that's what it is. Oh, I don't know. In fact, I'm actually coming up to 1,000 subscribers, I think. I'm about 30. Let's have a look. Where am I? Let's have a look. 967. 33 off 1,000 subscribers. Ooh, who'd have guessed? You don't make a lot of money off YouTube. I think you need, you know that, I'll tell you what I was reading. You know that Mr. Beast guy that has millions and millions? He got offered $1 billion for that channel. And he told him no. And he spoke to some financial guys and they reckon it was worth 10 times that. Unbelievable. Streaming market quality. Maybe if I have about another 3 zeros on the current viewers, I might have a shot at making some. Nah, you're not going to make money. I mean, 1,000 viewers, really? What I'm doing, you'd be lucky to make $10 a month at YouTube. Yeah. Cornered. I do wonder whether we're going to have another leg up, actually, if we keep going. It is possible. Do we do it there or there? Probably there, I think. Yeah, so that would put us at about 310, wouldn't it, thereabouts? Something like that, maybe. So that wasn't the most, well, it wasn't the best looking channel, but it sort of fits, and this one sort of does as well. There's a second entry long there, but bar's naff. If that was a nice bar there, it might not be a terrible long, because usually we'll go sideways until we get a decent signal bar on that key entry point. So we could probably go sideways a touch more. So I'm just, I don't know how good this channel is. It's a bit of sideways there, and it's a bit up, and I don't know. You may not call it a channel. It kind of fits, but learning 3. If there is no technical chart, assuming this and try to trade a bigger number, take the SP route. Yeah, you might as well be speaking Latin to me, mate. I don't get any of that. I think you're a little bit beyond me. Yeah, you can, mate. Patrick Welland makes like $7,000 with 1,500 viewers. Yeah, 1,500 viewers. I got 100. Sorry, 94. Correction. I don't know. I thought you had to have hundreds of thousands of viewers. You make $7,000. Bloody hell. The guy who trades, he streams. I don't know. I wasn't aware. I didn't think you made a lot, to be honest with you. It's from YouTube only. Plus prop firm. Yeah, well, I get some per month from you guys using me code. So that with my weekend work, that makes me enough so I can trade full time. Interesting. 1 leg, 2 legs. Now, okay, so I think we're coming up to this area now. I wanted to get to 92, so 1, 2, you could call this a triple test. I would much prefer to break lower than that. 1 leg, 2 leg, also a second entry long. I don't want to take it just there, to be fair. I'd rather use up that liquidity. I'd rather miss a trade than fuck one up, excuse me, than mess one up. I'd rather hit that liquidity first. There's buyers there, so if we can push down, then push up, then I'll be interested in going long there. That's just, I think that's risky personally. You could call it a triple test, but I much prefer. I know there's liquidity at there. Whether it'll just push up anyway, I don't know, but I'd much prefer to get down to here. Although it's a nice bullish bar, isn't it? It is a second entry long. Something about it I just don't like. Patrick Welland can be so arrogant and condescending to his viewers, really. Yeah. I've seen him, but I've not really paid much attention to him. That's not pushing up as much as I would have liked. Cami Capital. I don't know what that means, mate. Yeah, see, if I'd seen that coming now, I'd be crapping it. There's a lot of liquidity down here, and I'd rather it hit them buy orders before I think about going long. Now, it might not tick it, but that looks pretty bearish to me. It's not just viewers with Patrick Welland. He has almost 200,000 subscribers. That's a lot, that is. But I tell you what, though, because obviously views, but one thing there is a lot of in my channel is there's over 22,000 viewing hours. Keep at it, man. Thank you, mate. We love you. Oh, that's nice of you to say, mate. I appreciate that. Yeah, I do have a lot of viewing hours, about 23,000 viewing hours, because a lot of you guys are on the stream for 2-3 hours, see, whereas, you know, a lot of other YouTubers might do 10-15 minute videos, so, you know, and yeah, Patrick was caught trading Simmer, was he really? Right. That's the trouble, really. You just don't know, do you? But you can see my PA there. Some people block that out. I don't really know why. I don't think it matters, but okay, so maybe that is pushing up. But it is a second entry long, but the bit that made me nervous is there is some liquidity down there, and price moves towards liquidity, so whether it'll hit that before it goes up, that's the bit that's hard to judge. But I think it was kind of a nice bar, wasn't it? And it obviously made 2 points, but there's something about it I didn't like. So I don't mind missing a trade. I've got no problem with missing a trade. But I am thinking about going up. So maybe it wasn't terrible. It was kind of bullish, wasn't it? The other dude who streams, he's a nice guy. Is that you're thinking of Sam, probably, aren't you? Five Trader. He's right, Sam. I got to say, every time I've had a tough day with trading on the scene, you know, a real red day, he always sends me a message. Actually, I like that. Quite a lot of guys do. Quite a lot of you guys send me a message when I've had a tough day. And it does make you feel better. And it's usually because you guys have been through the same thing. You've experienced it. And sometimes just a little pep talk, you know, keep it up. Don't worry about it. It happens. Makes you feel better. It really does. But like I've said from day one, this is not about me teaching. I'm not a teacher. I'm struggling just as much as the rest of you. This is not about me showing people how to teach. This is just my journey. And sometimes it's nice to see another guy trade, see how he marks his trade, see what trade and compare it to you. You know, there may be a couple of things that I know that you see, and vice versa. It's all about helping each other. But for me, it's more of a, well, I started this primarily because I was just trading on tilt all the time, and I was just struggling. So I thought, if I got people watching, I'll be less likely to take a stupid trade. And in all fairness, it's worked relatively well. The only downside is sometimes when I've had a bad day, I'll trade after when the stream shut, which I'm trying not to do. I'm trying to just literally mark my chart up for the day, post my stream for tomorrow, and then shut down and walk away. Hence trying to find myself a hobby. Okay, so that worked actually. At some point we were likely to hit that 300 mark because we're clearly working up to a degree, and it was just a matter of finding a half decent bar. And the reason I never took it is because there was quite a bit of liquidity here, so I thought it might trigger me, come down, tick that liquidity, push up and sit beautifully right on that line, and that would have been the trade for me. But so it's possible in the long run to make some money. You are streaming anyway. Yeah, I mean, you're never going to make the sort of money on YouTube that you're going to make trading, you know. Well, that's as long as the trading goes okay, but it's helping me, and not just that. I like to sort of mingle with other people with the same interest as me. Someone told me once, spend time around people you want to be like. So other traders, really. It hasn't picked up that liquidity yet. Whether that'll sit bearish and maybe trigger some shorts and then push up a bit more. Gyms are a great hobby. Now, I did karate for years, and I had a chunk of cartilage taken out my knee. So I'm limited to a degree. Now, I have got a rowing machine, which it needs a bit of doing up. And my wife says, do that as a hobby. So I'm going to probably do that. But the plan is to go back to the gym a bit. But usually I'm farting nutty. Yeah, he is, yeah. I spoke to him in fact, it was on the stream last week, actually. I give him a plug, give him a bit of an advertising. But yeah, he's a nice guy. I watched the Apex payout that he does, where he shows the highest payouts for the month from Apex. Yeah, he's a nice guy, he is. Everyone's nice. There's no one there's no one I tend to avoid watching. I tend to not watch the Panda as much because I don't quite understand how he trades a bit. But he seems to have slipped into some bad habits. But he's a nice enough fella. But I tend to watch people that I think I can learn a bit from. So we've hit that liquidity. Now there is some a little bit higher around about there, which is at the top of this range anyway. So I fully expect that to. Unfortunately, that was the only real way in. It was a second entry. I mean, it was clearly a triple test. The trouble is, I've taken them before. I much prefer them to break out, because when they break out the bottom of the range, they pick up all the sell orders profits, the shorts profits, and then usually with all the shorts out the game, you're left mainly with buyers that coming back in. So I like it to break out and then close bullish. Plugs without being in the office, you miss out on work social. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we all know trading is a lonely old game. You're stuck in a room by yourself for 3-4 hours a day. And it's lonely. You know, you spend all day by yourself. Places where I haven't seen Wilson for a while now. I think Wilson blew his accounts. He had 20p accounts at one point. And then just before he packed in, I saw he had one $300,000 evaluation and 19 $50,000 evaluations, which obviously told me he blew his accounts, which is a shame. It's a lot of accounts to blow 20. I mean, you've got to pay the fees on those. You know, if you're paying the one-off payment, it's $140 times 20. That's a fair chunk of change. Which is why I've always kept PAs to a minimum, really. I've got 2 at the moment. I'm in the process of getting 2 more, but I don't really want to do any more of that because, you know, if you are still blowing accounts, much better to blow 2 or 3 than 20. That must be heartbreaking to go through all that and to lose them all, especially 20 of them. That's a huge amount to lose, that is. Moo blew his accounts. Yeah, I thought he did. I honestly thought, out of the traders I've seen, I thought he'd do the best. Because he seemed quite patient. For a young lad, you know, he didn't seem bullshit like he was jumping, and he was quite patient. And, you know, he had some skills I thought I could have done with a bit more of. But, you know, you don't know what happens behind closed doors. You know, I might look nice and controlled sometimes on the stream. But then after, if I've had a bad day, I'll often trade. And I find it so hard not to. Which is why I'm just trying to focus on taking good quality trades. If I take good quality trades and I lose it, I've lost it not because I've taken a bad trade, because of lack of experience, and I've got no problem with losing a trade because I need to learn a lesson, because I'm not an expert. I'm far from it. He's a nice guy. He's a nice guy, actually. They're all nice. Everyone's a nice guy. That sounds a bit fake, doesn't it? No, I think everyone I've seen streaming, all you guys I chat to, I've never had a problem with anybody. And there's one guy I had a problem with once. Just one guy. I forget his name now, but I kicked him off the stream. He had a... like DBK, your type of name, DBZ or D... I forget what it was, but he sent me a shitty message one day. Really got inside my head. I think you're messing up. I think you don't know what you're doing. You should go back to max. I think you should give up streaming. It was just really horrible stuff. So I gave him a mouthful and fucked him off, basically. But there's no need for that. I don't speak to people that way. I wouldn't speak to someone I didn't know that way. Trading is a tough business. What you don't need is horrible, negative nastiness. There's no need for it. I wouldn't treat somebody that way, so I just got rid of him. Yes, Chris, they are 50. Yeah. I think, personally, they're the best value. The 50,000, they're the easiest to pass, I think, although a couple of people have said the 25 is pretty good as well. But I'm not a fan of the 300,000s. If you can trade and you've got the patience of a saint and you can make a lot of money, then I get why you want to do the 300,000. But on a $50,000 account, you can trade 10 contracts. I can't see, if you had 10 accounts, why you would want to trade any more. That's 100 contracts total. Yeah, I got rid of him, mate. I don't understand why he did it. He was just a bit nasty, and I thought there's no need for that. I'm not nasty to someone for no reason. A lot of you guys, who've had rough days and send me messages saying I blew me accounts and that, and I'll have a little bit of supportive word because, you've got to help each other. It's an hard business, and it messes with your head, and you can have moments of feeling pretty low. I have myself, and sometimes a bit of a support from a fellow trader who knows what it's like. That's what you need, not nasty negative stuff. Constructive criticism, absolutely. I've got no issues with that. I mean, I put my chart on the Facebook group for the first year and a half, I think. I still do from time to time, and I ask for feedback every time I put a chart on, because that's the type of stuff I like. It's the internet. Yes. Okay. Pushed up. You could call that a failed second entry long. It's off the key entry point. There's some... Let's see how that finishes. Ooh,
Order filled.
Triangle one, triangle size. I'm going to get trapped here. It's just off that key entry point. I kind of like it. Where's that liquidity? 31. Let's put it there. It's going to take me out, isn't it? 28, 29, 30. Damn it. 875, 975, 1075. I just love the trade. It's just try to go low once, so I go twice, failure. I think it's going to get me. It's still fitting there, nice. That's why I kind of liked it. There's a lot of liquidity there. We've pushed up and come back and retested this. I think I'm going to get trapped here. Oh, well. Well, if that triggers, it may trap some shorts, but I think I'm going to get trapped here. But that's fine. If it happens, it happens. 31.50 is a lot of liquidity there. Okay, it is a first entry there, but if we got this new low, try to go low once, like a low twice, technically a failure. Who's that Dean? I don't know. I was hoping that bar there would trigger. It's still sort of, it's a rough looking channel, but it's a channel nonetheless, I think. In fact, actually, that's probably a bit better. Let's put that there. Now that fits a little bit better. Let's have a look. That fits a little bit better. Okay. Touch there. See what happens. It is what it is anyway. 5. It's a 2.5 point risk. In fact, it might make another leg down here, actually. I'm going to give it one extra tick, because sometimes that can save you bacon. What are you talking about? Yeah, DZT, that's the one, yeah. He just sent me a really shitty message. I was stunned, actually. It was just nasty. And it was out of the blue. I don't know. That's how you have your... Yeah, it fits a bit nicer there, so I might have shit out there. As we've bounced off here and come back... it's hit the midline. Oh, I'm in the lap of the gods here now. It'll either work or it won't. Posted all his trades. He said to me, you need to take some advice from someone who earns 6 figures every month for the last 3 months. So that would mean over 100,000. And then I noticed that Black Day Trading, he was on there. And he put a message. He said, my aim is to make $200,000 over the next year. And I thought, well, you said a message to me that said you made $100,000 a month over the last 3 months. So he's contradicting himself. So I don't know. Anyway, I got rid of him off the stream and forgot all about him. But to be fair, it put me on a downer. It's, sometimes people can say something that really stuck in my head. And I remember going onto the Facebook group and writing it down. I just needed it to air out. And I remember saying, I said, this guy's just messaged me and he sent me a shitty message and it's just really messed with my head. And to be fair, I got some lovely, nice support. I think, hopefully, I got some really nice, supportive stuff. And I felt better. Now, what I will say about the Facebook group and about here, if you're having a downer and you're having a tough day, get on there, tell people how you feel and get your feelings out, because it does make a difference. Because I felt really depressed. I even considered maybe I need to think about quitting. Maybe it is me. Maybe I'm just messing up. Maybe I'm not. You know what I mean? It was. Sometimes people can say something, it just gets in your head. But I went on there and I spoke my mind and just said, look, I feel down, blah, blah, blah. And I got some great supportive messages and that was that. I got some great feedback. You took that, yeah, higher low, second entry long. Yeah, when that triggered above there, I started feeling a little bit more confident now. I'm going 8.99. I'm going for, is that 2 points? 1.25. 2.25. Oh, hold on a minute. 98. There's 2 points, isn't it? Is that right? 875, 975, 07. Yeah, okay. I'm just going for 2 points. I'm not being greedy. 150. In fact, that liquidity is slightly above there, and there's a lot more at 305. So, with what I can see here, there is a second entry long there and a higher low. And we've bounced off here, we've come out, we've come back in, and we've retested a few times. So I think I'm safe now. So let's have a look. Famous last words. I think this is probably the area. Where's the highest liquidity at the moment? 2005 up here somewhere. So it worked out in the okay, but I had a bit of luck there. I think it was technically a failure, but I just don't like it when it comes back too far up, so it probably wasn't actually. So I was probably jumped the gun a bit there, but it is what it is, so. One leg up, 2 legs up, so hopefully 1 leg. 2 legs, yeah, it's a higher low, second entry long. I think that's a nice trade, that is. There's the measured move. Let's have a look. Liquidity 4301.5. So it's half a point above my, what's it there? And I've gone for 2 points and a tick. So fingers crossed. It is going a bit slow, but sometimes they do that. I think we're okay. In fact, I'm just going to go for around 2 points. Let's not push me luck. If I lose it for a tick, I'll be kicking myself. Okay, so second entry long, we've got 3 nice bars in a row. So I think we're okay. One leg up and another leg up. So I think we're okay there. Just might take a bit of time. So it's that channel fits quite nice. It's very choppy. It's up a bit choppy, but sometimes they're just like that. So I think we're okay. I can't see there's going to be many shorts in there. If I see something like there's a lot of shorts in there, sometimes I'll put my bar maybe 2 or 3 ticks above there, because usually when they break through, you get a little bit of a push. 4301.50. Forgot to activate my trade copy. Oh, you're kidding. Oh, bad luck, mate. That's a shame. Yeah, it's slowly grinding up. The trade looks okay to me. In fact, I'm going to put my stopper there, actually, under that one. 678, 2.75 risk there. There is a little bit of selling here, so it may get a tiny pullback. And that's okay. We had that push up. We had a bit of a pullback there, so that's okay. So he took that too, but took it off because big 300 is a number there. Yeah, the liquidity is 4301.50, which is 3/4 of a point higher than that. So I've come out a little bit before there. The trouble is I went for that bar there and it pushed a little bit, so I'm a few ticks behind you guys. So if you came in there, yeah, it's half a point. It's not major. So I took mine a half a point more. But I think we're okay. I think we'll break these highs. That to me is like one leg with a second entry long, and I think we're going to get another leg up here. Might just take a bit to grind up, but I think we're okay. Yeah, see that liquidity it is up to 3105 up here as well, so I think we're okay. You're fire, Sally. Thanks, mate. Appreciate your input, bud. In fact, I'm going to put that back to where it originally was, because there is a bit of liquidity. I don't think it'll come down to 96, but just in case it does, I've just given that extra tick, one leg up, pull back. I think we're okay. 97.50, there's a bit of liquidity, but hopefully we can get a push, we're okay. It's taking its time, I know that much. Come on, break above this little bit of resistance here. We've got that one leg anyway, so that's pulling us up. The liquidity is pulling us up. The fact that we're in a trend is pulling us up. We've managed to get above those few little bars there. I think once we get above here, we'll be okay there. Nice big bullish bar. Just a couple of ticks off, I think. A couple of 3 ticks off. Come on. Up you go.
Target filled.
Beautiful. There we go. So that worked out okay. Yeah, in all fairness, I took that one. We came back once. It was technically a failure, but it's not a failure I like to take. Normally like to take, but it's clearly working off there. We had one leg up, but then we had that higher low, which was a backup anyway, so everything worked out okay there. So all good. Looking good. Thanks, what? Nice when it works, isn't it, mate? So, okay, so... And the good thing is when we had that one, I'd moved my stop up as well, which just gives you that extra bit of what's it, doesn't it? So, plus 2 points. Let's have a look. Excellent. What I did consider doing was taking another trade again, but I just noticed there's just a little bit of congestion there, and I just thought it'd be a shame to ruin a trade now. Things are going well. I'm just trying to be a bit more sensible. So my 1p account is 4,400, so I'm $600 off 5,000 that account. So it's getting to the stage now where I'm starting to relax a little bit, that it's not stressing me as much. So it still hasn't hit that little bit of liquidity, so it may be a little bit of a pullback in what are you saying now? Are we going to talk about the pinpoint accuracy? Well, to be honest with you, mate, the reason I put that there was because it was a couple of ticks less, and I've found a lot of the times it'll go up, maybe 3 or 4 ticks away from it, come back down, and then push up. So I'd just like to be that little bit extra cautious and come out just a few ticks, and it was 3 ticks. I come out 75, wasn't it? And 3/4 of a point is where that liquidity is. What have I done? Let's have a look. So that was the trade of the day, that one. The second entry long, much better than that one. I like that big bearish bar. We come out, we come back in, we bounced off the midline. It's clearly working up there. And for me, I think that was going to go up, but that was the best one. So 31.50. So that's where the That's where that bigger liquidity is there. And I just came out, I don't know, it was just 3/4 of a point below it. Because a lot of times I've seen it go close, come back a bit more, and then go and eventually hit it. I like to get out. Dean, any heat on that trade? I took the second entry. I thought that's the trade you took. I actually went on that one there. We had a new low here. We had a small pullback there. So technically, it was a failure. Now, we pushed up. We'd gone sideways here, right back to this, right back to where that's sitting there. And we pushed out and came back in and retested it. And it bounced off that midline there, pulled up nice and bullish. So for me, it was okay, that. But then obviously when you get a higher low or a second entry long, obviously that confirms it, and that was it then. But no, I actually went in on that one. But that was the better trade. That was by far, thanks Sam, that was by far the best trade of the day that I can see, to be honest with you. Dependency with hindsight, you know, I did look at that, and it was a second entry long, but at the time, I had my channel drawn slightly different. It's not the easiest channel to fit today, but obviously now we've come sideways a bit. It's making a bit more sense, but yeah, see what I mean though? It came back a little bit before it pushed up, and that makes me nervous, but there is some buying around here, just under here. We're just going to push that through that. Yeah, that second entry was a bang-on trade. That was. Just sits nicely. The only slight thing that concerned me was it was a bit congested, and I thought it may have a leg and have another leg and retest this bottoms, but it worked out in the end anyway. Sometimes I think as trade wise, it was an 8.5 out of 10. I think maybe a 9.5 would be about as good as you can get. It was an 8.5 to a 9. I think it was okay. The trouble is sometimes there's congestion, isn't there? But there's congestion and there's congestion. For me, it's clearly working up. We had a pullback like that. We bounced off this middle line, so I think it's okay. And that one obviously confirmed it, and, you know, I'm happy to do that. So, yeah, it's a good trade, that is. We have so many days where we just have risky, stupid trade. Yeah, it just, you know, we'll have so many days where just stuff's not making sense, and it's quite a choppy day today, but if you've got the patience to just stay away, and fortunately I have today, and then you wait for something that ends up working, but yeah, you're done here. Good on you, Chris. Yeah, see, what time is it now? 5 o'clock. I'm happy to finish on one trade today. At least I can guarantee I'm going to be in the green. And sometimes it's good to do that rather than go on, especially if it's a tough day. Now, it is moving, but, you know, see, I mean, I won't be surprised if Mac marks trades like that. I don't think that was a terrible trade, but it's right at the midline, and sometimes you can get chopped up. But, you know, at the end of the day, when you see this, you know, it's easy to go, oh, that was, you had to took that one, because you know it worked. That, to me, looked like a bottoming pattern, the way it was slowly going up. So, you know, you may have taken something like that. Remember I mentioned that one push, it was a second entry, that one, because it actually broke below there and pushed up. So Matt might mark that, he might mark one of these, but apart from that, I can't see no really obvious what I would call good trades. That second entry could be a higher low. Absolutely, yeah. It's nice. It's a higher low. I mean, apart from that, I mean, you could call it, we've pushed up, we've come back, pushed up. You could call it a failure. Technically, it's not because this, but it's a failure. It's a higher low. It's a second entry long. Yeah, it's nearly as good as it gets, to be honest with you. Slight congestion, but that doesn't always make a difference. See what I mean? We haven't quite hit that. And if I'd have waited for that liquidity, I'd have been shitting me bricks now, wouldn't I? It often does that. Goes really close, then comes back a bit, and then works eventually gets into it. Now, if you bought down here, that might be okay. But when my stop's down here, my arse is going to be twitching like a good one. So a Max trades, he marks a question. Oh, Christ. Absolutely, Chris, yeah. He had a trend up here a few weeks ago, and he marked 2 dojis. There was a doji here. When I say a doji, I mean it was a perfect cross like that. I mean, people call sort of, what am I looking at? I see that bar there. People call that a doji. It's not. It's actually finished on its high. That's actually incredibly bearish, that is. It's pushed right the way down and pushed up, but people call it a doji. It's not really a doji. It's just when you get a perfect cross. In other words, it symbolises there's an even match of buyers and sellers there. That's about as close to a doji as what is a doji. There was one doji there, and he marked them both. So his thoughts were, in a strong trend, every time it comes back to the EMA, you can more or less go long. Well, I did that a couple of days ago, and it didn't work. So there you go. But I still see us going higher. The liquidity is strong up here. It's moving to around about here now, and between 5. So this area. So that I would say that would play out that measured move. So yeah, it's not been a bad day today. Fortunately, I've had a nice bit of patience today. It's just trying to muster this patience and try and get it every day. I don't quite understand why you can't just switch it on sometimes, but well, we'll see. I think sometimes the longer I've been sat here, the better I feel, the more relaxed I feel. You know, it's like anything, isn't it? It's like, you know, as soon as you get on the football pitch on a massive football match, big championship, whatever, you got nerves are going crazy, aren't they? But then when you've been on the pitch a bit and you're running around, you start to settle a bit. And I think I tend to operate a little bit better when I've sat down for a while. So perhaps my new rule needs to be don't take any trades for the first 15 minutes. Okay, so maybe we're going to get a second entry long off here. It does look like it, mate. The only issue is I've just moved that up a tiny touch and it's just hit exactly the same point there. So this may be an area where we get a break. But as I mentioned, look at that. It's going to give us a perfect trade, that, isn't it? It's very strong down here somewhere. What time is it? 5 o'clock. Let's see how this goes. I'm not going to get involved in this. It could turn into a really nice second entry, but the bit I don't like is it's almost feathering off and it's hit that same place twice. That just makes me a bit nervous. There is some liquidity at 96. It just may trigger here and come down. There is a sort of a little micro there with a break and a new low, so it hasn't finished right anyway. Yeah, it's just because it's hit this point. I think we're going to have a small break here, and I think we may. Okay, there's a lot of selling at 98, which is here, which has caused that. And there's some buy orders at 96-ish, so I think we may break out a little bit here. It's trying to fade, yeah. I just don't like the way we've pushed up again and we haven't quite hit that measured move and it's stopped there twice. Which, funnily enough, you could probably say, apart from the failed breakout, that's probably the top of the range. I mean, we could just continue going up and make this other leg, but I don't like this. There's some strong buy orders there at 26 and we haven't hit it, so I wouldn't be shocked if that ends up relatively bullish and triggers and comes down a bit more if it doesn't come down already. We're at the highs of the previous day. Yeah, we are. I took it off. I usually put it on, but I took it off when we surpassed it. There we go, see? It's picked up those buy orders now, so there is more buy orders at 99, which is up here. So I still think we're going to push higher, but fortunately we didn't have a bullish bar there, otherwise we'd have got stitched. But it's just the way it didn't push up as high that time, and it stopped twice there. And when we look back, Short of VWAP. Yeah, see, I think there's VWAP on this, on the bookmap. I don't know what I'm looking for. I've never used it before. I know what it is, but I've never used it before. So I believe it's on here. But whoever posts this, I can't see anything that says it. It may be on here. There is a yellow line somewhere, but that's up here somewhere. But interesting. Going down, you may be right, Sam. There were some big sell orders at 97, which pushed that down. Now, sometimes you'll see the sellers increase behind it, which is pushing it and pushing it. And they are a bit. Sellers are picking up around about this level. Yield plane and breaking 2 legs to a new high. Yeah. The only trouble is, mate, because we sort of are ranging, there's no guarantees it will. I think it will, but there's no guarantees. And not only that, with this one, a lot of times in the past, we'll have one leg down, a little leg here, and then it'll push up. But so many times now, it's pushing right out the range and almost going in the opposite direction before it makes a new high. So it just makes me nervous about looking to get in. Okay, so that's a second entry long there. That's just got risk written all over it because at 97, there's a load of selling. So that's triggered there. Let me have a look. Yeah, I'd be shitting me pants if I was in that trade now. There's big selling at 97. So I would say, from what I see, there's buying at 94. I wouldn't be surprised if this comes down. It depends how strong it is. Now, there are some aggressive buyers buying, but as soon as we hit that 97 mark, which is here, it's going to trigger some more sell orders. It's 230 odd orders. Okay, they're being triggered now, so let's see what happens. Okay. Buyers are picking up. Obviously, it only takes into consideration the liquidity on the heat map. But if you look top right, it doesn't include these marks here. It doesn't include aggressive buyers and sellers. So if all of a sudden a load of buyers have thought, I like that, let's buy, then that can push it up as well. You know, well, there you go, Rook. Okay. So the buyers have doubled at the moment. So I'd say it's going to get up to 99 and then halt for a bit. There's some more sellers at 99, which is here. So that worked back to the EMA, but I don't think it's finished going short yet. I might be wrong. 94. No microtrend break. Yeah, see, I saw that with a break in a new low, but trouble is, remember, we're quite likely at the top of a range, so it may have quite a push out like that before it goes higher. So it may have a leg and another leg. That's why I'm nervous about going along there. There is a possibility we could do something like that. We had a good push out there. There's some sells at here. Some sell orders there. There's an even amount of buyers and sellers at the moment, so hence it's staying stagnant. There's some sells at here, and there's some buying, and around about here. So I think you'd have got 2 points off that if you took it. I've just taken trades like that before, and they've pushed up a couple of ticks and stopped me out. I just tend to avoid them now. Massively strong sellers at 42.75 down here. Really strong on the heat map. It looks like the sun. Okay, that seems to work. So I think that's too bullish now to come down again, personally. There is some selling it. Oh, it's picked that up. So buy orders are pretty strong. Okay, I think we're pushing up. That's the quickest break and push up we've had for a long time, especially in a channel like that. So where was that? Oh, 150. So it's about there, yeah. 150. Yeah, there. So it didn't trigger that. So do you remember when I said I got out a little bit earlier? Because a lot of the times it'll get close to it, it'll come back and then push up again. And that would have screwed me up if I'd have put it in. I came out exactly at the right place. That's why, well, it's like anything, isn't it? If you think crypto is going to go to 60,000, you don't come out at 60,000, you come out at 59,800 or something like that, don't you? Because there'll be other people thinking, oh, I'm going to jump out here, and that's what caused that to come down. So I think this next one will probably push higher. But yeah, I got out at the right place there. Probably about half a point on the right side. Excuse me. What time is it? Okay, I think we'll just watch it hit this new high, and then I'm going to knock it on the other thing. It's been a good day today, actually. A lot of viewers today. And some good comments. Got a nice trade. I'm quite happy with taking one trade. Sometimes I trade better when I only take one trade. That's what I call slow and consistent. If you can do that every day, that's $4,000 a month on one account. And it's not a lot to expect. One trade a day, one winning trade a day. Strong buyers now. I expect that one to plunge through that in a minute. There is some buy at 99 again, so we may have a bit of a pullback. We've had some really strong uptrending days lately. Makes a change. Two contracts on. I've got two PAs at the moment. Another two come in on Wednesday. I trade two contracts on one and one. Oh, that's plunged straight through there. Two contracts on one and one on the other. The plan is when I get back to three is do two contracts on one and one on the other two, just to sort of take the time a little bit. Okay, it got where I thought it'd get to. I'm glad I got out a couple of ticks before we hit that, because my stop there or there would have got taken out. So I'm kind of glad. It's just good to get out maybe half a point, 3/4 of a point just before. So that's it for me today, folks. So one trade, one win, $200, 2 points. I wouldn't have got any more out of that, so that was a. So I'm just going to take a quick photo. Save charts. 5, 6, 23. Beautiful. Okay, that's me done for the day. So I appreciate all your comments. It's been an alright day today, actually. How do you set trade copy 2 on 1? Let me show you. Okay. Okay, what you do? It's all right. I've shut down now. What you do is, if you, what trade copy have you got? Is it Replicanto? You go into Replicanto, just go into allocate. So you put your lead account, click allocate, and then on your accounts change them to 1, 3, 2, however many contracts you want to do. Okay, so that's pushing up quite strong there. So yeah, that's it today, folks. I appreciate all your comments. It's been a good day, actually. Nice steady day, nice and patient day. I'm going to aim to focus this amount of patience on every day from now, so we'll see how we get on anyway. But appreciate all your comments. Don't forget the 80% off finishes a week today. My code's down there in the bottom if you use it. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but I get a kickback from it, and that helps me out. Trade Monday to Friday, so that finishes a week today. So great trade, been lurking, listening to. See you tomorrow, boss. Yeah, thanks, Brick. So yeah, have a great evening, guys. Stay safe as always, and we'll do it all again same time tomorrow. Bye for now.